Law of active-passive in operation. In consciousness, active-passive are not dualistic. This is because consciousness encompasses the whole of everything and provides the space for all possibilities. Therefore, it is both active and passive beyond time. In other words, before time was operative, consciousness was both active and passive. When consciousness is passive, it causes nothing. Isness just is forever. When consciousness is active, it creates laws of being. It becomes active as being, which is the eternal experiencing relationships. In this universe, where time is measured by change, active-passive states and modes of operation are pervasive. They are evident everywhere. For example, the sun is active for the earth when the sun is visible, and it is passive at night. This is the same for all types of weather patterns, such as clouds and rainstorms. Revealed in humanity. Active-passive is dualistic in humanity and is predicated on existence. Before we experience an energy, an appearance, or an effect, something is passive. It becomes active when it is put to use, such as a battery. Another important point is that all types of laws can be in either state. Passive laws can be prompted into becoming active and vice versa. Active means there are changes in relationships, which is time. Passive means changes are generally not obvious. For example, laws about transportation are only active for you when you are using that mode of transportation. In nature, some animals hibernate and become quite passive during a dormant part of a cycle. An example regarding laws of being is that the law of progression is passive for you when you are resting in accordance with conscience. An example of active-passive is a door. The door is passive when you are sitting looking at it, and it is active when it is swinging open. In other words, the active side is equivalent to opening, and the passive side is equivalent to closed. When the door is closed, there is the possibility of it opening. Possibility means that what is passive can become active. In spiritual life, sometimes we are called to be compassionate without trying to fix a person or a situation. When we are serving as a centered and grounded witness, acknowledging the divine in all, we may not look very physically active. Thoughts have energy that can and do affect situations. Antithesis. Nothingness is the antithesis of active-passive because in that existence there is nothing about which to be either active or passive. At the same time, nothingness is also a part of isness, which has no opposite. Nothingness is pre-existence, which is the passive side of isness. This is like a blank canvas before any art is produced. In this analogy, consciousness is the canvas, the artist, and the medium simultaneously. Consciousness can operate both sequentially and in parallel. Action and inaction take place simultaneously. Nothingness and active-passive operate in parallel everywhere, as far as we know. Application: how to hold active and passive in parallel. Check with conscience to know whether to take action or not in compliance with the law of non-interference. Discern when to get involved and assist someone and when to be an observer. Being a proper observer, such as being a spiritual master, means witnessing what unfolds and taking effective action in line with your conscience. Properly observing or being a compassionate and grounded witness is a way of being passively active. People often think that being passive means not doing anything. However, a proper observer is very active in the actions of observing. Observers help create space where unfoldment can occur. Meditation is a form of being actively passive. It allows people to think in alignment with laws of being, which results in relating more consciously with others. It is effective to discern which laws are most active and relevant to what you are doing, and to find a way to sort and prioritize which laws to follow at any given time. A law becomes relevant when it provides guidance for you to fulfill your part in the operations of eternal consciousness. To sort and prioritize laws, consult inner stillness, and act as directed by divine guidance.